This video is brought to you in part by Inked Playmats at inkedplaymats.com, your place for custom-made playmats. Design your own or shop from other featured designers. Use promo code KLOTZ to save 10% on your order. Inked Playmats, your game, your style. Hey everybody, it's Kevin from KlotzProductions. You all been asking for a deck tech of my Grixis Control Deck, so here it is, my Grixis Control Deck, and I'm going to tell you about it. I'll start off by giving you the list and tell you the cards that are in there, and I'm going to give you a rundown of why each card's in there and what I'm using them for and why I chose to have them. And then at the end I will give you a little bit about where I'm going with the deck and some plans for what I could take out, what I could add that might make it better. So let's get started. First of all, we got the creatures. I have 2 Azure Mages. I have 1 Olivia Voldaren. I have 1 Grave Titan. I have 2 Consecrated Sphinxes. Then I have 2 Inferno Titans. That's all the creatures. After that I have the spells. We'll start off with kill spells. I have 3 Doom Blades. 1 Devil's Play, which is kind of a win condition as well. 2 main deck Slagstorms. 1 main deck Black Sun Zenith. 1 Tribute to Hunger. 2 Dismembers. And 2 Go for the Throats. And that's all the kill spells. I also have more spells for support. I have 4 Think Twice. Along with that I have 4 Mana Leaks. And I have 2 Dissipates. So 6 total counter spells. And then I have 3 artifacts, which are the Druidic Satchel that you all have seen. And then I'll tell you the lands, but there's not too much to really talk about them. I have a Darkslick Shores. I have 4 Drown Catacomb. I have 4 Dragonskull Summits. I have 4 Blackcleave Cliffs. I have 4 Sulfur Falls. I have 5 Islands. I have 2 Mountains and 2 Swamps. So that's the deck list. Let's go ahead and give a breakdown of the cards and what they're used for. So starting off with the Azure Mages, they are card drawing, kind of like the Think Twices are. They were going to be Snapcaster, but I don't have Snapcaster. If I do get the Snapcasters, I might put those in there. They would be good in this deck because of all the removal. With cards like Slagstorm and Doomblade and stuff, it gives me a lot of options if those are in the graveyard that I can flash them back with the Snapcaster. But for right now, they're just the Azure Mage. And it's a good 2-drop that lets me put a little pressure on some control decks as well. As far as the Olivia goes, she is one of the kill conditions. She's really good against illusions because she can target them and instantly kill them. And when you play her against Titans, it makes people make mistakes and not want to play their creatures because they're afraid that you might take them from them or might take their creatures from them. So it makes Olivia very good. She is one of the win conditions in the deck. There is 1 Grave Titan in the deck. It's also another win condition. It's pretty self-explanatory. Make lots of dudes attack. I run different creatures because, like 1 of one creature, 2 of another creature, because it gives me more options and allows me to pick the best creature for the best situation. Then the 2 Consecrated Sphinxes are also kill conditions. I run 2 of them because they are card drawing, so it can let me dig out of stuff if I need to, and it lets me block flyers. Then I also run 2 Inferno Titans because they're also really good against the illusion decks, because it can come in and basically kill 3 illusions if they don't have the Lord out. And then when he attacks, he can kill more. And in this format right now, there's lots of little dudes like humans and stuff. And so I've noticed that the Inferno Titans are really good in this format. If you look, you know, the Wolf Run decks have 4 Primeval and 4 Inferno. And obviously Primeval is good, but the Inferno is really good too, and I think he's really good in the format. Obviously, the kill spells do exactly that. They just kill stuff. I run 3 Doom Blades. I run more of the Doom Blades as opposed to the Go for the Throats because right now there is more artifact decks like Tempered Steel, which makes the Go for the Throats not valuable at all. Because against Tempered Steel, the Go for the Throats have to be sided out because they're not going to do anything at all. Unless they're running some card like Hero of Bladehold. It's really all it's going to kill. But ultimately, they're probably going to come out for something else. That's why I run the Doom Blades. The Doom Blades can also kill the Inkmoth Nexus, which are in Infect decks. They are in Wolf Run, and they are in Tempered Steel. So Doom Blades are really good right now in this format. The Devil's Play is another kill card. It's a win condition that I can burn you out at the end and then flash it back to finish you off. Or if I draw it early on, I can use it as a spell to use it as a removal spell. Kills an illusion for 2 mana. Or actually kills an illusion for 1 mana because you just target it and it's gone. So it's a kill spell in that as well. Run 2 Slagstorms. Slagstorms are really good in this format because of all the little creature decks like Tempered Steel and Humans and Mono Blue Illusions. Slagstorms are going to do a lot of work for you, and they're going to kill most of the creatures in the format. And they can do a little bit of damage for you if you need to. Black Sun Zenith does the same thing, except for it costs 1 more mana, but can be used to kill bigger creatures. And it can help deal with creatures like Thrawn the Last Troll, which this deck doesn't have a lot of answers for, especially main deck. So the Zenith is another sweep, and there is one of those in the sideboard. I have a Tribute to Hunger, just a one of those for creatures that I can't deal with because they have Shroud, like the Thrawn of the Last Troll, or Geist, Saint Traft. You can kill him as well. I can wipe the board with, I can spot removal other dudes and then take them out with the Tribute to Hunger. Can also give me a lot of life off of things like Titans. If I'm playing against Wolf Run and they drop a Titan, and it's the only thing on the board, I can make them sack it. They lose 6 life, lost their Titan, and I'm in good shape. Or I gain 6 life, they don't lose 6. I have 2 Dismembers. People aren't playing a lot of Dismembers nowadays. I think it's because the control decks are typically running creatures that have 6 power or more. But I still like them. They are removal. I only run 2 because I don't really like to pay the 4 life to cast them. I would like to pay 2 or none at all, which means it's going to be, turn 2 or 3 that I'll actually be using them. So I don't want to have them right off the bat unless I absolutely need them. But they are decent removal. Then there's the Go for the Throats. Like I said, they're just more removal. They can deal with those black creatures and the Infect decks that the Doom Blades aren't going to do anything for because the Doom Blades are probably going to come out. Well, they may come out against the Infect decks, but they can still take out the Inkmoth Nexus. But it's just giving me that variety and the options of what I can do with my cards. So I have the 2 Go for the Throats in there. So going on to the support spells, we have 4 Think Twice, like I said. Now these are just giving me card advantage. They're going to be good against the control matchups because it's going to let me draw more cards than them or attempt to draw more cards than them. And they let me dig. They're 2 for 1, and I can cast them at the end of my opponent's turn since they're instances. So I can leave 2 lands open for a mana leak to counter, and then at the end of the turn if they don't do anything, I can Think Twice to draw a card, and then do it again next turn with the flashback. So Think Twice is a really good draw spell right now. Also have 4 mana leaks. If you're playing blue, you got to be playing mana leak. I don't care if you're playing aggro, control, whatever it is, because mana leak is just too good, in my opinion, not to be playing if you're playing blue. Because right now, it's pretty much a hard counter for anything, unless you get into the late games and they're going to cast little stuff, but at that point, the things that cost 2 and 3 when they can be paying 6, you're going to be dropping Titans. It's not really going to matter. So mana leak is really awesome. But if you just have to get rid of things and the mana leak isn't going to do it and you have to have a counter, that's what we've got the Dissipates for. We've got the 2 Dissipates. They're just straight up hard counter spells. And they also remove the card from the game. And with all the Snapcasters going around right now, the Dissipates, take those out of the grave where they can't use them. It removes creatures so that Moorland Haunt can't get those creatures back. And it's going to do the same thing for any deck that's going to take stuff out of the graveyard. You've got those Dissipates to remove those cards, and then they can't use them for their flashback or whatever they're going to use them for. So Dissipate is really good in the format. No, there's actually 3. I said 2, but there are 3. I did add another one of those. Now we get on to the Druidic Satchel. Now this is a card a lot of people have been asking me about. And upon playing with it, I do like it, it's alright, but I feel like it's too slow, and it's really only going to be good in the control match, so I'm probably going to be taking it out put it in the sideboard, bringing in some other cards so that I have the Druidic Satchels if I need them for the control match, but I can have other cards in here that'll help me against things that I need more help against. The sideboard is a little rough. I'll probably be making some changes, but I'm going to give you that list right now. I have 2 Skin Renders. I have 1 more Black Sun Zenith. I have a Nil Spellbomb. I have 1 Memoricide. I have 1 Phantasmal Image. I have 2 Flash Freezes. I have 2 Phyrexian Crusaders. 2 Witchbane Orbs. A Monomania. And 2 Negates. So what are each of the cards in there for? Let's start off. I've got the Skin Renders because these are going to be good against Infect decks. Like I said, I was talking about taking out maybe the Doomblades because they have so many black creatures. Take out a couple Doomblades, bring in a couple Skin Renders. The Skin Renders are going to kill off their guys and give me a dude on the board to help me block and attack for the win. Can also be good against maybe the Illusions. Maybe not so much, but against the humans it can be good as well. Because like I said, it is going to kill their dude and give me another dude on the board. But specifically it is in there for the Infect decks because of how well they work against them. And next up is the Black Sun Zenith. This is going to come in against any decks that's got a lot of creatures like Tempered Steel against humans, Mono Blue Illusions. Anything that's going to play a lot of dudes out on the board that I need to get rid of, I'm going to bring in the extra board sweep in the form of the Black Sun Zenith. It gives me the 2 Zeniths and the 2 Slagstorms. I have the Spellbomb in there because there's so many decks right now that have flashback cards, things like Snapcaster's going to take advantage of stuff in the graveyard. Haven't seen a lot of Solar Flare, but there was Solar Flare a while back, so if I run into those, I've got the Spellbombs for the Solar Flare. So really anything that's going to be making those interactions with the graveyard, especially the Snapcaster, because the Snapcaster can win the games, the Nil Spellbomb is going to help me out there. Now I have the 1 Memoricide in there. It's really just kind of a card, like if I'm playing against a combo deck, and I want to take out, their combo, I can use the Memoricide for that. There's not really any combo decks right now, but it can also be good against Wolf Run because I can target their Inferno Titan, or not their Inferno Titans. I could target their Inferno Titans, but specifically their Primeval Titans. Take those out of their hand early on. They can't counter it, and I can cast that, take them away out of their deck. Then they can't search for their Nexus or anything. It's going to be really good against them. Or I can use it against Wormcoil Engine if I want to. So it's mostly in there for the Wolf Run decks or combo decks. And I have the 1 Phantasmal Image, which is also in there for Wolf Run decks, specifically to get rid of Thrun, the Last Troll. Because the Thrun can't be countered, and like I said, I don't have a lot to deal with it, his Phantasmal Image is basically going to be destroy target legend is basically what Phantasmal Image is going to be. Because it doesn't target them, so it wouldn't be target legend, it's just kill a legend. Doesn't target them, it's going to come in, become a copy of them, and remove them from the game. So really good to deal with the troll. I also have 2 Flash Freeze. Those are obviously just going to be more counter spells to bring in against any green or red deck, like Mono Red or Wolf Run. It's going to counter anything in their deck, and just a solid counter spell, straight up counter. They can't do anything about it. I have the 2 Phyrexian Crusaders. Those were initially put in there for Mono Red to help me survive early on and have a blocker against them. Or if I'm playing against Mono White, can do the same thing. They're probably going to come out of the sideboard because I don't think that I've ever brought them in. Maybe 1 or 2 times. Never really used them. It could be because there's not really any Mono Red decks at our FNM right now. And so they would be alright against that, but since I don't play against the Mono Red, I'll probably take them out, at least for now. Speaking of Mono Red, I have 2 Witchbane Orbs in here to help me against the red match because Control is going to have trouble against Mono Red because it just burns you out so fast. So the Orbs is going to help me to stop them from targeting me with cards like Brimstone Volley or the Shrine of Burning Rage. I get this out there, the Shrine can't kill me, the Brimstone can't target me. It's going to do a lot of help for me to help me stay alive against Mono Red. The Monomania is in there against control decks. Basically, if this resolves against a control deck, they're down to 1 card. It's going to give you huge card advantage, and that's what the control matches are all about, is having more cards in them. And along with that, I have the 2 Negates, so I can play the Monomania. They try to counter it with a Negate, their hand's empty, and then I basically won the game at that point. So that's the deck and the sideboard, and my thoughts on those. Now, some of the things I'm going to change, I talked about, I've got the Azure Mages. I'd like to put some Snapcasters in there, but the biggest change I'm probably going to do is take those Druidic Satchels, put them in the sideboard, and then bring in some other cards. Some of the thoughts I have are maybe some Gut Shots, maybe some Arc Trails as some more removal, maybe bring in some more board sweeps. I was also considering taking them out in place for some Spell Skites, because the Spell Skites are going to help protect my big bombs, my creatures that are going to let me win the game. So those are probably going to come out. There's a lot of options that I can bring in that's going to help me out. Maybe bring in some more Forbidden Alchemies, because I don't have any of those. And those are going to give me more card drawing and let me dig to what I need. So that's going to take those three out, put them in my sideboard, give me space for some other cards that I can mess around with and help my matches up a little bit. And I'll have to do some more testing to see what I want to use specifically. But that's basically the changes I'm going to make right now, because Gut Shot's going to be really good against the illusions. I've thought about Geist Flame against the illusions because it kills it and has flashback. But the Gut Shot is good because I can Gut Shot your dude and still leave my 2 mana open for my mana leak. And the Gut Shot's also really good against the Infect decks, because it's going to kill a lot of their dudes except for their Crusaders, which I'll have to wipe the board with the Black Sun Zenith or kill them with a Go for the Throw. So that is the deck tech. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you got some helpful advice about it. If you want to play this deck, feel free to build it. I'm still working on it. I've enjoyed it fairly well. I've also been working on some other deck ideas that I'm actually testing right now, but who knows if I'll ever get those together. So that's it. If you want to see this deck in action, you can check out the annotations over here. I have 2 matches. One is against Tempered Steel. Then I have another match. It was against mono-white, blue-white humans, but I guess it was basically mono-white with Moreland. No, it was blue-white, because he did have counter spells in there. But there was actually only the 1 game of that, and then I have the whole match of the Tempered Steel. So you can see the deck. I have the deck lists at the time that I played those in the descriptions, so you can check out those games and see this deck in action. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you later.